Welcome to a very special episode of The Essential Cut. My name's Ian, one half of the host team, and I'm here with my co-host, Michael Smith. What's up, dude?
Hey, Ian. How you doing?
I'm doing super. I am really happy that we took a week off. We have been producing a ton of episodes, and you know what? Something people don't talk a lot about in the pod industry, especially small podcasts like ours, it's a shitload of work to make a podcast.
Yeah, I think that's definitely, I'll admit, more true for you than it is me.
But even for you, like between the watching the movies, doing the research, doing the writing, preparing for the episode, just the prep work alone.
The recording is the fun, easy part.
Yeah.
It's feeling like you're ready to actually walk into the studio and hit record. That, it's work. There's a sense of responsibility that comes with it.
Yep.
That, is, even though, it's talking about movies, it's not, life or death, but stress comes with it.
You still want to bring something good to the table.
Yeah, you want to do a good job.
It was nice taking a week off. It was also nice taking this week to go out and actually watch a lot of movies from 2026, which is what we're going to be talking about today in this special episode. Mm-hmm. We're going to be covering the movies from 2026, really taking a look back at the year. We're now on the other side of blockbuster season, which felt like the right time to pause and say, all right, how's 2026 shaping up? What do we think of the films that have been released this year? And what do we think that you should go back and watch if you missed them when they came out?
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it. I think 2026 has had some good highlights. Like there are really solid movies. A lot of years feel like they're back heavy, like all the good stuff really comes out in the end.
Mm-hmm. This year's felt very front heavy.
Just barely past the halfway point. And there are some movies that I'm very confident we'll be talking about at the very end of the year when it's time to do the full recap of 2026.
I'm really interested to see how Sinners really changed the game, that we had such a big Oscar contender come out in March. Mm-hmm. And now our studio's looking at March as a possible time to release these sort of exciting, bigger movies in spring. And we have one this year that we'll definitely be talking about that I think is maybe not as exciting as Sinners was, but I think it's exciting for a lot of people, both in that it was a lot of fun and it was a pretty big hit. And so it mirrors it in that way.
And I agree. And I think Sinners likely served as sort of the test case, the proving ground. But in 2026, the way that we consume media is so different. That theatrical window does not dictate a movie's success, cultural impact in the way that it used to. Mm-hmm. And so you can drop a movie in the spring. It can have its sort of moment in the zeitgeist and then get revisited throughout the year. And I think what we're going to see is the movies that we're talking about at the end of the year are not necessarily the ones that get dropped in Oscar season, but the ones that have proven that they have staying power, that they really have a life that can sustain throughout a year.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what this Oscar season, like how it shapes up, what kind of movies we're still talking about when that time comes around. So with that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to lead us through all of the movies that we have seen so far that have had a theatrical release in 2026. Now, some kind of were 2025 if they're foreign, and we'll talk about those as we hit them. But really, when you could see them in 2026 in the United States in most markets, and we're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to work our way to the tippy top of our very favorite movies. And so, without further ado, do you ever hear people say "without further ado"?
Adieu,
like adieu, adieu to you. Yeah, to make it like put a little stank on it, like a little twist.
Culture.
Yeah, make it sound more cultural.
It's got like an umlaut.
Yeah. Have you ever heard somebody do that?
No.
I'm going to do it from now on.
You're going to do it from now on?
Yeah, I'm going to join.
No, I think people...
I'm going to lead the charge on without
more
further
than people trying to fancy it up. I think people just...
got to make it extra fancy.
Say it because they know what the phrase means, but don't necessarily break it down. What is adieu?
All right. At any rate, let's start at the very bottom. Michael, I think you and I are probably on the same page on this.
I think we're on the same page, and we might be the only people who are on the same page.
We've got a couple hot takes in here. I think this is probably going to be our hottest take. Let's talk about Backrooms. Michael, you saw Backrooms this year. I saw Backrooms this year. What do you think of it?
I hate it so much.
So this is a big skip for me. This is the bottom of my list for 2026. Yeah. I did not care for this movie at all. Part of the reason it makes the bottom for me, and I'll let you say why it does for you in a moment, is not just that I didn't care for it and that I didn't vibe with it, which is all true, but that so many people did, that it made me feel out of step in a way that I wasn't comfortable with, which made me backlash against the movie even more.
Yes. So that is absolutely the reason I still am interested in talking about the movie.
Yep.
It
It's
is not the reason
culturally
I
important.
hated it. I hated the movie because I did not enjoy the movie.
No, it's at the bottom for me because of that. It's not the reason I hated it, but it's
Yeah.
why it's my absolute least favorite movie of the year.
But I do I am still kind of fascinated by the reception of it, that so many people saw it. It was such a big hit. It got so much praise.
Mm-hmm.
And so often I can see a movie, I can not love a movie, but I can at least, sort of intellectually try to pick the things that people did like about it, even if it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I am so baffled that anyone would like this movie that, like you said, it makes me feel out of touch. It makes me question reality. It's concerning to me, and I'm willing to be open to the idea that I'm the problem here.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard the compelling argument yet.
I mean, this movie, here's what I will say about this movie. This movie is a vibe. It is not really much more than a vibe. It's made by somebody. It's a movie about the 90s. It takes place in the 90s, made by somebody who didn't live in the 90s. It's as though they learned about the 90s from a YouTube video. And I think I felt that as I was watching it. It felt phony in a lot of ways. I mean, Chiwetel Ejiofor gives a perfectly fine performance in it. Renata Rensen, yeah, they're there's nothing against the people who were acting in this film. That part works. I think the direction is terrible. The fact that a 20-year-old directed it and that it received as much applause as it did, aplomb. Everybody was so excited. The movie for me was poorly directed. It didn't have an emotional core. It never picked me up. But the biggest thing is it's a vibe, and I just was never on the frequency of its vibration. It never picked me up as I was watching it. It was like, here's an empty room with some chairs stacked on top of it. Isn't that creepy? To which my response was often, no, that's really not that creepy.
Well, I guess, the most charitable thing I can say about it, and it ends up turning into one of my biggest criticisms about it, is that it had me curious for about 30 minutes.
I was curious. I was so open to it for 30 minutes. I was like, take me on your journey. I felt exactly the same way. I thought it actually had a strong opening.
Yeah, and the vibe that it sets felt kind of mysterious. It had me interested to see where it was going. But then because it didn't go anywhere,
there's no payoff.
Even that curiosity becomes more of just I was fooled into thinking that there was something behind the curtain, but really it's just empty.
Yeah, it's empty repetition. So that is the hot take on the Essential Cut. Yeah. If you loved this movie, comments. Tell us why you loved this movie, because I really want to know what it was about this film that connected for people. I truly am curious. This is not you're an idiot for liking it, because like I said, I think it was
we're in the vast minority.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious why. Because for me, it was, there's not a lot there, seems to have set up a sense of mystery. And then the closest thing we got to a payoff was, in my opinion, really stupid.
It felt like a movie that was made by a kid that grew up in a stroller holding an iPad.
Kind of.
That was how I felt about the movie.
And I want to be so much more optimistic, because I do know that the internet generation is going to be making movies. And the internet generation, I'm sure, will have interesting things to say, but hopefully it's because they're bringing in their own life experiences and not trying to sort of build up whatever their quasi-nostalgic version of an experience is.
There are other movies on this list that we will talk about that are much higher, that I think were either made by the internet generation or at least inspired by it. And I think that they will be interesting to talk about those. So let's move on to the next one. My next movie, right above Backrooms, among my least favorite movies, among my skip-its, is going to be Super Mario Galaxy.
I did not see Super Mario Galaxy, which is interesting because as this episode plays out, something that will come up is you've seen a lot more movies than me.
I did see a lot more movies. You saw a lot more family movies than I did.
The reason I have seen fewer movies is because I have young kids that absolutely monopolize most of my time. And so when I do get out to the movies, it's often family movies. So my list is going to be very family movie heavy compared to your list. It's going to be shorter than your list. And somehow the Super Mario Galaxy movie
I was shocked.
Is not on mine.
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't on there. So, I mean, I disliked it, and I think it's a skip because it doesn't function as a movie. in 1986, I had an NES controller in my hand and I was playing Mario. Like,
Yeah.
I have loved Mario for
Ditto.
decades, but the thing Mario does not bring to the table and never has is a story.
plot?
Is a plot or a story. It's never been about that. It's been very much about the gameplay, about the feel of the game. So trying to turn it into a story feels very forced. And this movie is bubblegum fan service with a bunch of very big names voicing the characters. I mean, for me, it answers the question.
It's a series of Easter eggs with celebrity voices, right?
Yeah,
It's my soundtrack, because the first one was not much more than that either.
For me, it answers the question, can you buy $1 billion movie? And it answers it, yes, you can. Like, you can spend enough money that you make $1 billion. I don't want to spend a bunch of time on it. My next movie in my skip it list above Super Mario Galaxy was really disappointing because I wanted this movie to be better, and it is Normal, Bob Odenkirk's outing this year. It honestly just felt like a lesser Hot Fuzz for me. It wasn't as funny. It wasn't as exciting. It wasn't as tightly directed. And it didn't have as much to say about what's going on in the world. It wanted to say something about like China and globalization and how it's affecting small towns. And it's just a little bit sloppy on that front too. It was an admirable effort that just doesn't deliver. In fact, I mentioned it to my wife. We saw it together. I was like, oh yeah. This is near the bottom of my list. And she goes, did I see that? And I was like, that is a great example of why this is a skip. It's because you did.
Perfect review of the movie.
Yeah, we did see it, and it was quite forgettable.
Yeah, that's good to know. Was Odenkirk at least kind of fun in it? 'Cause I tend to like him.
I love Odenkirk. He's fine in it. He's not. I would not say it's one of his better performances. It was just very forgettable. And so I think that's the end of my skips. I'm really happy to say that of the 25 movies I've seen this year, I only think 3 really should be skipped. Are there any on your list that I didn't cover that you think we should be skipping this year? I
will throw in one more skip, and it is a skip for some unique reasons. Because it is not a horrible movie. Okay. I did not have a terrible time. I wasn't like in back rooms where the last 45 minutes of the movie, I was just pissed that I was still sitting in a movie theater.
Tell me
that was not the case here.
That is so rare that I'm mad to be in a movie theater, but back room, actually Normal got me there too, if I'm being honest. Normal back rooms both did.
But I will say skip Moana.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I took my kids to that movie because I broke my phone and needed to get it fixed and had 2 hours in a mall that had a movie theater to kill.
You broke your beautiful iPhone Air. You broke it?
I did. Well, my iPhone Air, it's so sleek and beautiful that I don't put a case on it, but that doesn't make me a less clumsy person. And so, I broke it. But that's not the story here. The story here is that I took my kids to see Moana, and it is a almost shot-for-shot remake. There's a couple scenes that are longer. I think there's an extra song that's not very memorable because I only think that it's there. The performances are fine. The music is good because it's the same.
That music hits me right where I live. Like Lin-Manuel Miranda's soundtracks to Disney movies, like I can hear like 4 notes and start crying.
No, like if this was back in like the old Hollywood contract days, like Disney should just own Lin-Manuel.
Honestly.
So it's like the best thing I can say about it is that it doesn't do anything to dishonor the original. But then because of that, it means it's not doing anything unique and it has absolutely no reason to exist. And so if you're curious about Moana, just watch the original animated movie because there's something about animation that's just a little more magical, especially if you're going for the Disney thing than you're going to get in a live action movie.
I really fail to understand why having a live action version of a movie is more appealing than having an animated version. Like a lot of the magic for me is the animation, is the art, is the drawing, is how they bring it, bring...
because animation is such a special art form that, you know, our list will tell us can often be done in a very forgettable way. But when it's done in not a forgettable way, like it's some of my favorite stuff.
Well, I mean, speaking of, and this is stop motion animation, but I think it falls in that same thing. Leica Studios has a new film coming out this year, and I can't wait to see it.
So excited. I love the way it's being marketed. I feel like I know very little about it, except I'm picking up a little bit of a vibe. I trust the source. It looks beautiful, and I am ready to be there.
I know. Same. That is a movie I'm very excited about. There's actually several that I'm excited about. We'll have to do another recap as we kind of get into fall because there are several that cannot wait to see. All right. Is that covered for the skips for the year? I think
Yeah, I
4
think
skips,
for
that's
the
not bad.
like ones where I'm very much like just like don't even waste your time.
Just not
I
worth
love
it.
movies. I love going to the movies. It takes a lot for me to say avoid a movie.
Same.
And I'm glad that 2026 didn't give me a lot of reasons to do that.
No. All right. So then we're going to get into now the see it if you've got time. Like
Yeah.
these are movies that like you don't need to rush and see it, but if you've got a night off and you want to check out a movie and you've seen all the other ones on the list, I think that these are all perfectly worth the time. I'm going to start with Hoppers.
That is the next one on my list as well.
So Hoppers is here's where Hopper struggles. And I love Pixar. And honestly, I don't think I've really loved a Pixar movie since Luca. And I really thought Hoppers was going to be the one. Everything I was reading about it was that it was going to be really exciting. It sounded great. It sounded great. But it actually is a lackluster idea that has a lot of heart behind it. But because it starts from such a boring concept, no matter how hard it works, I don't think it ever gets over the finish line. I will, however, say Bobby Moynihan, he is almost a must-see for his performance as this King Beaver in it. He's
so funny.
He's so funny, and he's had such a great year between Hoppers, and then if you haven't seen Reggie Dinkins on Peacock, please watch that show. Bobby Moynihan is absolutely hilarious in it, and we want more performances like that. We want more stuff from Robert Carlyle and Tina Fey. And so
I love when the SNL alums are able to take that beginning of a career, that breakout of you know, a lot of them are stand-ups who have like paid their dues, and then they get this opportunity on SNL. Not often enough, but sometimes the careers really just flourish and they end up doing weird, creative, new things.
Yep.
And Bobby Moynihan, someone who on SNL had a lot of potential, was doing the silly thing, and it's cool to see him doing fun stuff now.
Yeah. So I think Hoppers is worth a watch, but don't bend over backwards to see it.
I think most people, if you are listening or watching this, you probably have a Disney Plus subscription. Your kids will like it. There are some fun characters, a few funny moments. It's cute. It's not special.
Yeah, it doesn't hit me where I live the way a lot of the really great Pixars do. Like, I mean, I'll go back to Luca. That's the last one that I really felt was like that small, special story that took place in a very real and believable place where something really magical happens. I think that that's when Pixar does its best
and
work.
Sadly, Luca kind of got lost because of when and how it was released.
It really did. I think it is such a little gem, but I don't think Hoppers reaches those heights. My next movie in our, don't rush to see it, but hey, check it out. We're back on Disney Plus for The Devil Wears Prada 2. I think The Devil Wears Prada 2 was fine. I think that if you want more Miranda, you want more Nigel, you want more Emily and Andy, it's got you covered. If you want to see a bunch of sexy clothing and fantastically luxurious locations and cars, it's got you covered. I think that it doesn't do anything to move its characters forward. It doesn't do anything to evolve the story in ways that I would have liked to have seen for all of the characters. In fact, in so many ways, the movie is about stagnation. They're fighting off. If they're not fighting off a finance bro to save Runway, they're fighting off an AI bro to save Runway, and it goes exactly as expected.
Yeah,
but it's fun. Like it's pretty.
A little
very
higher.
Pretty. It's a little very pretty.
Devil Wears Prada 2 is the movie that I would put on the cusp of the like see it if you have time and the like actually see it. I enjoyed this movie.
I enjoyed it
quite a bit. I agree with most of what you said, right? Which is it doesn't bring a whole lot of like groundbreaking anything from a story or character perspective. It's a lot of the same.
It's more of what you love about the first
It's more of what you love. And I really like the original. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite movies and TV shows, I don't know of a better way to watch it or to phrase it. And it's just the like escapism of like rich, glamorous people doing rich people shit.
And this movie
does
like
that fun to watch
in
sometimes.
Spades. Absolutely.
And I do think it did.
If you don't want to watch reality TV, this is a great way to get exactly that same thing without the guilt of watching
TV, with a little more art.
Yeah.
Like there is a place for that. And I think this does that well.
Yeah.
I also think it did have maybe a little more than you're giving it credit for, something to say about the media landscape and the way that it's changing, the intersection of technology and people and journalism and culture, and how that is difficult to navigate.
I agree that it had more to say about it. I don't think it had anything new to say about it. I think that this is a message that we've been hearing since...
but it's saying it maybe to some new people.
It's the message we've been hearing about the media landscape since I'd say 2012. And that was why there's just nothing unexpected about the movie at all.
Yeah.
And for that reason is why I have it that low. But again, it is
It's
it
so
will not
funny, 'cause,
disappoint.
there's nothing unexpected.
No.
But it also gives you everything that you are expecting. And if that's what you want, you'll be happy enough.
Yeah. It is. It's a Whopper. You'll get exactly cheese and tomato and bread, and you will get precisely the things you hope to get. The next two I want to talk about, I actually want to talk about in tandem because one moved the other one down as I saw it. So I saw They Will Kill You very early in the year, and I really loved it. I'm a big Zazie Beetz fan. I'm going to keep just absolutely pushing her. If she's in a film, you should go see it. I want to see more Zazie, just in theaters, on TV. I met her in Glover's show, Atlanta, and I just thought she was incredible in that. And ever since then, I've been like, oh my God, I need more Zazie. I've got 2 Zazie movies on my list. This is the lower one, They Will Kill You. This movie feels like it was made by somebody who grew up on internet culture. I guess he's like a sort of Slavic director. It's very punchy shots and jump cuts and very highly stylized, but it is all about a cult that is hunting down women to extend their lives so that they can live forever. It's a bizarre, strange movie. It's a bloody, fun mess. I really, really liked it. It's got a great turn by Heather Graham in it, which we haven't seen her in a minute.
I love Heather Graham.
And I love Heather Graham, and it's so fun to see her in it. But then the other day, I watched Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, and I realized that They Will Kill You is almost a direct ripoff of, and I'd never seen the first Ready or Not, but I was like, I'm going to watch this one. It looks like fun. And Ready or Not is just a little bit better, and They Will Kill You is just... it's not doing anything different. And They Will Kill You's ending, I mean, the CG climax is really bad, and it has a lack of heart that really holds it back. Whereas Ready or Not, Here I Come doesn't have much heart, but goddamn, the blood shotgun, if you don't know what that is, it never disappoints.
Blood shotgun. I don't know what it is, but I want to.
And this one's got Elijah Wood and Sarah Michelle Gellar showing up in it, which is also really fun. They're doing virtually the same thing. It is about cultist billionaires eating the poor. That's what these movies are about.
Also a genre I kind of like most of the time.
You know what? I'm going to say the genre's been growing on me. I didn't, when I saw them.
Last year I feel like you were you had a bit of a grudge against the genre.
I don't like the Eat the Rich movies. I still don't. I think those ones are boring. I think they're very boring.
I see the distinction here.
There's an Eat the Rich one where they come after and destroy all the rich people. These ones like The Menu and Ready or Not, they're a little bit of a different take on the genre. And I think that they are just...
yeah, because I love The Menu.
They're generally more fun. I think they are. So... all right, that is the end of my see it if you have time list. What do you want to add on there?
Throw some on there that I think are weirdly movies that you didn't see.
Okay.
That I did, and they're all family-friendly movies.
You're so family-friendly.
Kind of.
Should we make this into a family-friendly movie podcast and just watch movies that are just great for kids and families?
It would make my job easier.
Oh,
I can tell you that much.
Not to reveal too many of my biases, it would make me miserable.
I'm sure it would.
I watched Pillion last night. Can't wait to get to that.
That's not family friendly.
Not family friendly. No.
I know enough about that to know it's not. So, kind of in order, bottom to top of the ones I'll run through relatively quickly. Minions and Monsters.
I wanted to see that. I actually had tickets and I ended up getting sick and couldn't go see it, but I heard it was fun.
It's kind of fun. It gets points for being about old Hollywood and movie making.
I heard it was like an animated Babylon.
Cinema. Kind of. So it's not terrible. It's actually much better than I thought it was because I'm just over the Minions generally as a cultural phenomenon. I like farts and nonsense as much as anybody, but there's just only so much I could take. This one at least attempted to kind of have a unique story, do something new. It just never kind of gets over the hump for me.
Okay.
But better than I thought.
It's above Hoppers for you, though, it sounds like.
Yeah, it is.
That says a lot.
Yeah, which is funny enough. The other one is Goat, which is the
Steph Curry movie, right?
Steph Curry almost basketball movie about animals. And it's another one that is perfectly fine. It is an animated animal version of every sports movie you've ever seen. And if you like those, you'll like this enough. The animation's unique. It looks like the Spider-Verse movies.
I'm worried that everything's starting to look like the Spider-Verse movies. I'm not
kind
going
of
to
gets
lie.
points for that today, but I don't think movies are going to get points for that now.
I know. I think that's going to start to date things because people are starting to crib that style. I saw that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, and I remember thinking, "Oh dear, here we go."
That movie. I like that movie more than any of the ones we've talked about so far.
But I was like, here we go. Like everyone's going to start cribbing that style now.
That it's done by a computer, but there's something sort of analog-y about it kind of look.
Yeah. It makes me nervous.
And then I will also throw into this Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
I actually didn't see that one. That was sort of, I wanted to, but I also didn't because I was afraid it would break my heart.
That I actually enjoyed. It was for the 2 hours or whatever that I was in the theater. I had a nice time. Grogu is cute and I'm not tired of him. The story was like a good kind of like adventure, kind of action-y story, pretty light, but enjoyable enough. There were funny moments, some characters that were decent. The criticism that I've heard a lot of people levy at it, that is true, is that it feels more like 3 episodes of the TV show kind of just smushed together and thrown into the movie theater than it does a movie on its own.
That was what I heard. It sort of suffered from the Moana 2 problem.
Which, I can't dispute that, but I will say it didn't in the moment bother me very much because I was just there to eat popcorn and watch something and have an okay time, and it accomplished that.
Yeah. I think the types of movies, and we'll get into them, but there are movies that are coming out that make it less acceptable to make a popcorn movie like that because they're doing that plus more.
Yes, and that's actually a really good point because when we get to like the best stuff of the year,
it's going to be those types of movies.
The types of movies that are in there just make me happy.
Yeah.
They're the movies that I have been complaining don't exist enough, and you've been telling me I'm wrong, and 2026 is proving me wrong, and I'm so happy for that.
You got to find them. That's the thing. All right. Well, that means it is now time to get into the movies that we think you should see. These are movies that you should absolutely make time to see, and I'm going to start with the bottom. We're going to keep working our way to the top. The drama. So,
tell me about the drama. This one has me like super curious.
I'm going to tell you very little about it. I'm going to reveal very little about it because this movie relies very heavily on a big reveal at the beginning.
Okay.
The big reveal at the beginning.
At the beginning.
There's a bit, and the rest of the movie is dealing with that reveal. And what I'll say about it is it overly relies on this big reveal, and the reveal is excellent. And it hopes that reveal can carry the entire movie. And the reality is, luckily for Christoph Borgli, who made this movie, that Pattinson and Zendaya carried over the line. Well,
here's the deal. I will watch Robert Pattinson and or Zendaya do anything for 2 hours.
And
I think they are among the best actors we have working today, absolutely of their generation. They're both just so magnetic and dynamic that they are the types of... we don't have movie stars in the way that we used to, but they're so damn close. If they're in something, I will see it because they are in it, even if nothing else about the movie interests me.
This is the year of Zendaya and Pattinson. I don't know how many times they're going to show up on the list now. It's Zendaya, Pattinson, and Holland. They're going to be in
together.
Everything. I know, it's crazy. But I don't want to say more about the movie than that, but I do think it is absolutely worth seeing. I think it is a fun watch. It really challenges your notions about a very hot topic that gets covered in the news a lot.
Okay.
And it's worth the ride, but the movie does run out of gas despite the performances. And so just be prepared for the fact that it will carry on longer than you maybe think that it should. But having said that, I do think it should be seen. The next movie on this list, moving up, and this was tough between the drama and this one because this one is such a huge mess, but I put The Bride. Maggie Gyllenhaal directed this. It is an absolute mess of a movie. Like, it has some fucking high highs. It has some really boring lows.
It's really funny.
Jesse Buckley is swinging for the fences on this one and just killing it.
I'm interested in seeing this movie. And one of the reasons I'm interested in seeing it kind of is that it looks like a mess, but like the kind of mess I want to like experience.
For every mistake and misstep that it makes, it's also doing something really fun, really exciting, and really stylistic. I I like movies like this. I think that the only unforgivable sin that occurs in the movie is at one point in a scene when the bride is swinging a pistol around and women are talking about their experiences, and one of them goes, "Me too."
Oh God.
It's that kind of feeling when the movie sort of goes off the rails and sort of forgets what the movie's about and becomes too overtly political about what we want it to be about. And I think that it suffers for that reason. But Jessie Buckley is fucking magnetic in it. She is, I'm just falling in love with her as a performer. And this movie actually helped that along. So
Good.
from there, we're going to go up to Mother Mary. Mother Mary is as low as it is because, honestly, it might have been my biggest disappointment of the year. I still think you should see it. I still think it's really good. But I want to see David Lowery do everything. David Lowery has maybe made the only live action remake Disney movie that I actually like, that I think is a good film. It doesn't technically a live action remake because the original was a live action, Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
But it is superb. I think The Green Knight is one of the most. You want to talk about a movie that's a vibe that doesn't make sense, but I am operating on a frequency that scares the shit out of me and makes me uncomfortable. The Green Knight is that movie. I don't know what it's about.
I haven't seen. Is that the Dev Patel?
Yeah, you haven't seen that?
Okay, no.
Do yourself a favor.
I need to see it. Okay.
That movie will fuck you up. Like, watch it and then give yourself and then take 3 days off from work so that you can like reflect on it. Because
I'll find my next like therapy appointment on the calendar, scheduled sort of shortly before that.
You absolutely should. David Lowery is such a master visual storyteller that the reason this movie disappoints is because so much of it is just a conversation between Anne Hathaway and Michaela Cole. And their performances are superb. And it's beautifully shot, but it's beautifully shot in a barn. And it's them talking about exciting, wonderful things that happened that I don't want to hear them talk about. I want to see it. But the moments that he does illustrate on the big screen are gorgeous. They're luscious. They're haunting. The performances are wonderful. It is a really good movie. It should have been near the top of the list. I don't know why he opted to be so visually withholding with a story that could have been so visually sumptuous. And that is what I will say about it. There's not really much more to say because, again, it is it's a conversation between old friends like that have become enemies, and that is effectively the movie. Above that, this is going to be a shocker. And because this was a movie that was so polarizing, but it's actually landing almost dead in the middle of my list, Wuthering Heights. I was prepared to hate or love this movie. I went into it and I was like, one of these two is going to happen. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I should be better. Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, Wuthering Heights. If you're not, I'm doing air quotes because it does have scare quotes around it. That is the proper pronunciation. Wuthering Heights, Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights. I've been pretty open if you've listened to this podcast for a while. I really like Promising Young Women. I do not like Saltburn. So I went into
Saltburn.
I went in prepared to not like this movie. I've never read Wuthering Heights, and I do not like to judge movies against the books anyway. I think that it is a nonsense thing. And when we get to the Odyssey, which of course we will, we will discuss that a little bit. But we have seen the 1939 original with Merle Oberon and
we like that movie.
And we like that movie. And we talked a lot in that episode about how that movie was so much about the Instagram culture, about this keeping up with the Joneses and being tempted.
So, like, shockingly, sort of in a way, magically timeless.
Yeah.
Which, much like Moana, then begs the question, why are we doing this again?
And I'll tell you why they do it again. They don't come at it from that angle. Emerald Fennell actually makes it less about keeping up with the Joneses and more about the dangers of only reading the headline.
Okay.
And it makes the movie very
interesting.
It actually is. I walked away from this movie saying, this is a really interesting take about what happens when in your life that is messy and emotional and difficult, if you make big decisions based on the headline. And the regrets that will consume your life when you do. And I really liked that is actually very much, for me, the core of this story and what they attach onto it. Beyond that, the movie is excessive. It feels like it's built this big, beautiful, fantastic world that these people don't actually live in. It feels like you're in Emerald Fennell's imagination, and it's fun to be there, but the characters are uncomfortable sort of in this world. They don't actually inhabit it the way you want them to. It has a lot of problems. It really does. But I think that at its core, it's very interesting. I think a lot of the complaints about casting, I'm not going to get into the race of it. We've seen Heathcliff cast as a white man so many times. I don't know why they keep doing it. But
also broadly an uninteresting conversation to me.
But the age, I do think was interesting because people are like, well, Elordi's too young, Margot's too old. I actually think Emerald Fennell made the right decision because what people forget about the tale of Wuthering Heights is neither of these characters are one age. This movie takes place over the course of 20 years. I think that what she did was
so you have to cast based on one of those points.
She put the age that the movie needs to end at between her two leads so that she could age up Jacob, age down Margot, and get them about in the right place by the end of the movie. There's no perfect way to cast this movie because of how much the characters have to age throughout. And I will tell you that those two are fucking hot on screen. They're hot together. It is a sexy movie. It is a fun, sexy movie to watch. It's dirty. It's illicit. And I really actually liked it a lot.
Huh? I mean, you've sold me because this was one that I think kind of like you, like had me curious but nervous and like just never really pulled the trigger on it. But I think
it's worth it.
I'll have to check it out for sure.
I enjoyed it. I for sure enjoyed it. All right, now we're going to get into one I know you've seen, and I'm excited to talk about it. Obsession.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about Obsession too soon.
Well, I know for you we are, but I've seen a lot more than you have. And so I want to be clear. This is right dead in the middle. I mean, it's above Wuthering Heights. It's above Mother Mary. It's above the drama. This is high. This is coming in at number 14 for me, but tell me, I know you like Obsession. Like, tell me about it. You got me to watch it. You were like, you're going to like this. And you were right. I did. I liked it.
Couple things going in. Horror movies are my favorite movies.
Yes.
It's my favorite genre. I love horror. And I love horror that is unapologetic about being a horror movie. And so Obsession is a pretty simple plot, but it relies on a magical twist, I guess, right? Is like, this is a world where magic exists, even though it's supposed to be the world that we live in, and it doesn't hedge it at all. It doesn't try to over-explain it. It doesn't try to ground it. It is just magic exists, and this is how magic is going to fuck you up. And then it rolls with it and just has a really good time. The characters and acting, I think, are really, really good. It has some visuals that just like slam, like hit you in the face, I will say very advisedly.
Indy's incredible.
And do so.
She is a marvel.
Yeah. And so this is just one of those movies that's a lot of fun. It's sort of predictable. Fine. Don't care. And I just sat in the theater with a big dumb smile on my face the entire time. It's a horror movie. It's not scary at all. It's funny. I was never scared. I laughed my ass off through this movie. It's super funny. It's such a vibe.
It's more in the vein of Evil Dead than it is.
Yeah, and it's just one of the
Midsommar
best times that I had at the movies all year. It was a blast, start to finish for me.
I think it is a really fun, very simple premise carried by incredible imagination of the filmmakers, by Indy's performance. She is bizarre beyond belief. To your point, I love that the movie never
some of the other things that are scary are just a few of her like facial expressions and body movements. Like it's a very physical performance. Very well done.
I love that the movie makes no effort to explain itself. In fact, you mentioned
that's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, but it's that it's not just that magic exists, it's that it's sort of taken for granted. Like people are like, oh yeah, you get your wish. Did you not know that? Like it says it on the it says it on the box.
You get your wish. What were you expecting? Why are you mad?
Why would you expect the product to not work as advertised? Which I sort of love that play on, like, we're so used to things not living up to our expectations.
And then like this sort of like corporatization of magic that happens in a couple of funny ways.
It's retail magic.
Yeah. It's great.
It's great. The other thing I really love about it is that you're never really clear what's happened to Indy's character, Freaky Nikki. And this is maybe my favorite thing about the movie, because my interpretation, and it never tells you, and I do love this, but my interpretation is that Freaky Nikki was a very strange girl, and that this is how she would behave if she truly loved you more than she loved anything else in the world, but that she is trapped inside the body of a girl who loves him more, even though she does not love him at all. And that is this like tension that is occurring inside of her. And watching her play that out without ever explaining it is just fucking fun. And I really liked it. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. It was great. You should definitely see it. I'm going to go right into another horror. You ready? This is the scariest movie of the year. I loved this one. I went and saw this in the theaters by myself. I don't know if there's a better way to see it.
Bad choice.
Hokum. Hokum crams a serial killer, a witch, a ghost, all into a haunted hotel, and it's scary as hell. Adam Scott is a superb misanthrope, and it is the scariest and best horror movie, for my money, straight horror of the year so far. Criminally underseen. Really,
I haven't seen it.
Really
part of the problem.
Yeah, really terrifying. I don't want to give anything away about it because there are so many wonderful scares in the movie and unexpected moments that it is just go see Hokum. Like, if you don't know what it is, good. Go see it. It is, if you like horror, go see it. It is scary. I love a movie that actually scares me because it's so rare that I actually get that feeling. And this one, it had me clutching onto the armrests. It had me hoping that the scene would end sooner so I could feel safe again.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to convince me.
All right. After this, above Hokum, I've got Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft.
See, this is a fun one to be on the list because it's just like not what comes to mind when I think of movies and a retrospective of the cinema for the year.
Yep. Great movie. I got to tell you, I was so excited to see James Cameron making something that was not in space, didn't have 9-foot blue aliens. That alone had me buying a ticket. But I'm a big fan of Billie Eilish. I really enjoy her. I enjoy her persona. I enjoy her music. I was excited. I didn't get to go see her on tour. This was absolutely the next best thing. I did see it in 3D. I don't know that watching it at home will be as good of an experience, but I still think it is very much worth the watch. And the whole time I'm watching this, I cannot help but think that every other pop star in the world, watching Billie up there jamming in a guitar in a slouchy t-shirt, a baseball hat, and a pair of Jordans, has to be just a little bit jealous that she does not have to wear a bustier and garters and do impossibly choreographed dance moves to get her fans to absolutely love her the way they do. Like, she does
really pull off something very unique.
She does. What she is doing is worth documenting in this way, and it's worth being a part of it. I think it is a really, really great concert movie. It is worth seeing. You should check it out.
Yeah, I mean, James Cameron is maybe the only filmmaker where when he puts something out and it's in 3D, it is the definitive way to see it. Like, you kind of have to see it in 3D. And I think 3D is a technology that has had potential that is very rarely realized.
Yeah.
And so even just that is cool. And then I liked is it Into the Abyss, the other documentary that James Cameron made? You know, he's a big like action movie director, but then he's made, you know, a couple of documentaries. And I think that's also just like a fun little tidbit in his filmography.
I think the other thing that is just sort of awe-inspiring and just really brings this movie into a different realm for me is so Billie has a co-director credit on this film.
Right.
Which is wonderful. She has a selfie camera on a handle that is 3D that she is carrying with her. And just seeing her perform and direct herself in that moment is just, it really is something to behold. And there's something really genuine and authentic. And I don't use that lightly because I think authenticity is so often faked by performers, by politicians, by YouTubers. That is everybody's going.
Talk about a symptom of the Instagram generation, right?
Precisely. And I do not for a moment believe that anything about Billie Eilish is faked. I think that she is a sincerely genuine person that makes really incredible music with her family, and that we just happen to discover her as a society and lift her up. And it makes me happy. So great movie. Really suggest seeing it. Moving on to our next one. I'm excited to share this one. We're almost out of the should-sees and into the must-sees. And this one I really struggled with where it belonged, but I kept it in the should-sees. This is Send Help.
Tell me about Send Help.
I feel so much joy when I get to see Sam Raimi do Sam Raimi. And this is absolutely, he has found.
You kind of called out Evil Dead earlier.
He has found his writers and he has found his muse in Rachel McAdams. And this movie brings you the comedy, the blood, the like sardonic nature of just of humanity. It is a wonderful reminder that just because you're the victim does not make you the good guy. It is a really fun, really good movie. I honestly, I don't know why I have it this low. I have no complaints about this movie. For me, this movie is just beginning, like T to B, just really, really, really fun. There's nothing that I could tell you that I'm like, oh, this part doesn't work or I didn't enjoy this. It all works. I enjoyed all of it. It's really good. It's just a really good movie. It's streaming on Hulu. Like, watch this movie right now.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So before we move into the must-sees.
Well, I've got one more before.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I've got one
I
more.
thought this was the tippy top of
We're
your
almost. No, these two, and then
Wow.
I said I struggled. These both were struggles for me to not have them in the must-sees. This next one fumbles the third act, but it was so nice to see Gore Verbinski doing Gore Verbinski shit again. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. This is an excellent full frontal assault on AI, on being addicted to your phone, on solving our problems with simple text solutions rather than actually working through our feelings or facing what's going on in the world. It takes it all on. I will see Sam Rockwell read a phone book. He's got another movie coming out this year that
He's another really great one.
I will buy tickets for as soon as it is out. This is another Zazie Beetz where it is so wonderful to see her. This is Juno Temple doing something completely different.
I love Juno Temple.
This movie is really fun. It is really funny. It maybe has my biggest laugh of the year, if I'm being honest, in the movie. There is a sequence where Juno Temple is selecting the quality she would like to have in her new child.
Oh, lovely.
And one of the qualities that she can pick if she would like is leaky. Why you would choose it, I don't know, but it's on a screen of options,
but
and
it's a choice.
And you have to catch it because all the options are filling up the entire screen. You have to read through them really fast. Like one's clumsy, one's charming, and one just says leaky.
Leaky. I want a leaky baby.
And the children. The best part is, if you don't want to pay the full price because you can't afford a new one, yours comes with ads. It will occasionally ask for a peach tea.
I mean, it's funny though, as anyone who's had a child knows that they're all kind of leaky.
They are all kind of leaky, but they don't all give you ads like your Kindle because you don't want to pay full price for books.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a really, 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 really fun movie. The ending, it's funny because the ending is terrible, but it's also kind of the point because we all know that this world that we're living in and the direction that we're going, it can't possibly end well anyway. So how could the movie end well? And it actually makes the bad ending feel oddly thematically
because it's like a bad
relevant.
ending, but it's the correct ending.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
funny.
Yeah, it's horrible and wonderful, and I loved it. That is the end of my you absolutely should see these movies here, but they're not the must-sees. Michael, is there anything you'd like to add to the list that I did not cover?
Yeah. So yeah, we missed one that actually we should have talked about much earlier because it's kind of right in between the should see if you have time, which is Toy Story 5.
Oh, I did not see Toy Story 5. It came out in the United States when I was in Japan. And then by the time I made it back, there were just other movies I had to catch up on, and I did not get to it.
Yeah. So that one's kind of low on that list. It's fine. It is a should see, if for no other reason than it is a palate cleanser from Toy Story 4.
Which we all needed.
Yeah. It's true to the characters. These are characters that we like. So it's going to be a good time for that kind of nostalgia hit, and it's nostalgia that I have.
Here's what I have to know.
But it's not special.
How was Conan? I love Conan so much. I am just the biggest Conan fan. I have been since the 7th grade. How was he?
Good, but I mean, didn't do anything to change my assessment of the movie, really.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, if you like the Toy Story characters, you like that world, you want to spend time with them, go for it. It's you won't be upset in the way that Toy Story 4, I think, really kind of dishonored the legacy of the Toy Story movies in a way. This doesn't do that.
I mean, you're ranking it higher than Hoppers.
Yeah.
So I think that says something.
I would rewatch it before I would rewatch Hoppers.
Okay. I think that says something.
Yeah. And then the other movie that I believe
got another.
Didn't see that, I struggled with where to put this, but I would put it in the like should see category, which is Disclosure Day.
It's so funny. We talked about this on a prior episode. I was so excited to go see it. Reviews started to roll out. I got busy and I ended up not seeing it. I really planned on watching this weekend. It came down to a choice between watching Pillion and this last night. And we haven't talked about Pillion yet. So
made the right choice.
I was going to say, where Pillion is going to fall since we are where we are. And I don't know that Disclosure Day would have been as high.
Yeah, Disclosure Day is good.
That's what I've heard.
Interesting.
I love Emily Blunt. She's someone else.
Emily Blunt is really good in it.
I wish she would be in better movies.
She's really good in it. It's got a bit of a like mystery wrapped into it that keeps you interested. Doesn't pay off perfectly. It's bloated. It's a little too long. There's like this whole middle section that's basically just like a chase movie that really could have been abridged. But it's Spielberg doing the Spielberg thing that I like, which is kind of making big, fun movies that are not just big, dumb fun. There's a little more to it. It's not overly sentimental for the most part, which is where Spielberg sort of loses me sometimes. So yeah, you should see it. If you're a movie fan, you're familiar with Steven Spielberg, it's something to see. It's something to sort of collect on your having watched list, but it's also a bit disappointing.
How does it rank against the likes of like Ready Player One or War of the Worlds?
I think it is better than both of those.
Better than both.
But is similar to War of the Worlds.
That was my sense, was that it was similar to War of the Worlds. I like War of the Worlds. I think War of the Worlds is a good
That's
movie.
What I mean.
Okay.
I think War of the Worlds is a good movie. I think Disclosure Day is a good movie. I just, when you're going into a movie and people are like, is this the spiritual successor to Close Encounters? No, it's not that.
Yeah, that was, which is too bad because I kind of would have liked it. All right, Michael, it is time to get into these movies. Like, if you haven't seen these, you've done a disservice to yourself, to your community, to your family, and to your legacy. These are the movies that you absolutely must see. And I'm going to kick us off with The Sheep Detectives.
I love it.
What a fucking joy this movie was to watch.
Yes.
I did not know how much I needed a good-hearted, cozy mystery where a flock of sheep with the voices of Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Bryan Cranston, Brett Goldstein, Chris O'Dowd, who I really love Chris O'Dowd, Patrick Stewart, Bella Ramsey, Rhys Darby, all solving the murder of Hugh Jackman. I didn't know I needed that movie in my life. I would have never guessed I needed that movie in my life. And you know what it turns out? I needed that movie in my life, and the filmmakers knew me better than I knew myself.
The first time I saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, what the hell is this? Who's going to watch this movie?
That's funny. The first time I saw the trailer, Rosie and I looked at each other like, where do we pre-order tickets? Let's watch this fucking movie.
And then as it got closer and closer to release, that like, what the hell is this? Turned into a like, what the hell is this? Right? And so I was curious enough to see it, started hearing some good things. And I'm so glad I did. And to talk a little bit more about like the types of movies I end up seeing these days. This is what a family movie should be. So
100%.
There are too many kids movies that play to the lowest common denominator and actually talk down to children. And sometimes I think unfortunately, the marketplace rewards this, but it thinks that kids just like can't handle something a little deeper that requires a little bit of thought. That plays on multiple levels. And like this brings it in a way that is accessible enough, but is also smart enough for the adults. The mystery works as a mystery. There are some themes that are maybe a little high for kids, but don't go over an edge to make a parent uncomfortable. It's great. It's exactly what we need more of.
It is the best kids movie of the year, hands down. I cannot wait for the weather to turn, for it to get cold, and for me to get a little bit of a cold, because I'm going to wrap up in a blanket with some soup, and I'm going to watch this movie, and it's going to be the best feeling I've ever had. My only complaint about this movie is that it came out at the wrong season. This is a cozy fall movie.
It's a wool sweater of a movie.
Yes, it is a wool sweater of a movie. Wrap yourself up in a scarf. It is wonderful, and I really, really enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah, and it also it's got this Agatha Christie vibe that is intentionally
it's based on a series of books. It's based on a series of books, and hopefully there will be more.
I hope so. It was not that successful here in the United States, but I think it did pretty decent in Europe, and so I'm hoping that's enough to have them continue.
Well, the books are German,
a good movie,
and they have a pretty big following in Europe.
Yeah.
All right, my next on the list is Pillion.
Talk to me.
Oh my God. I watched this last night. I was up too late. This was the last movie I was squeezing in before we had our meeting this morning. I was like, okay, what's the next one I watch? Harry Melling is doing the fucking best work. He caught my attention in Buster Scruggs as the armless, legless raconteur that Liam Neeson ultimately sends to his very sad demise. And he is doing something even more interesting here as this phenomenal sub to Alexander Skarsgård's biker Dom. This movie is pushing in all of the right places around our comfort levels with relationships, with sexuality, with how we address family members who are going through something that appears difficult from the outside, but that we don't truly understand. One of my favorite tropes this plays on is that we are so used to seeing the tale of the young man who is alone, but, closeted gay, or maybe, doesn't want to talk to his family about it, and that he has to deal with people not understanding who he is as a gay man. And what I love about this movie is that Harry Melling's character, Colin, his parents, the movie starts with he is on a date with a boy that his mom set him up on because his parents support him and they love him. But then he gets into this sub-dom relation with Alexander Skarsgård, and that's what his mom can't understand. And that becomes sort of that next level of she thinks that this is not emotionally healthy and that he's not taking care of him. And the way that plays out is just, you have to see the movie and be part of it and sort of be part of this experience. The other thing that makes this movie work so beautifully is that the physical characteristics of the characters. Alexander Skarsgård is described in the movie, and I think this is an apt description, as impossibly handsome. The biker group they hang out with, there's a bunch of subs and doms, and it is a whole gang of guys that all go camping and go on rides out to villages in England, and then also have orgies in the forest. And that is what it is, actually this incredible sense of camaraderie that you sort of feel among this group that you should feel uncomfortable. But even the bikers in this group are oh yeah, Ray, Alexander Skarsgård's character, he does what he wants because he looks like that. And we all understand that he looks like that. And when you see these characters, and if you know what Harry Melling looks like, which, by the way, Dudley Dursley of the Harry Potter movies, you see them together and they do not make sense together, except in the context of a sub-dom relationship. When the movie finally challenges the sub-dom relationship and they attempt, and I say attempt, I don't want to give away too much again, at sort of trying out a normal gay relationship, you realize how much this relationship actually doesn't make sense anymore. And that there's a foundational problem with it in that context. This movie is, I loved it. I laughed. I cried for Colin. It is beautifully directed. It is intimate. There is no judgment of anyone. It is a movie, and I say this all the time. You love to have big dumb fun, I think, or big dumb smile on your face. That is your jam. Yeah. I love when a movie takes me to a place in a world that I couldn't go otherwise. My love of Honora, my love of Marty Supreme. Pillion is taking me into a world and a place that I couldn't enter without this filmmaker's vision. I love this movie.
Yeah, so kind of as you're describing it early on, I was just thinking I really love when stories are able to take characters who come from a place that is very easy to pigeonhole. And this happens with all kinds of really minority groups broadly, whether it's women, gay people, ethnic minorities. And it doesn't give them the freedom to be, ironically, as diverse as we allow the straight white dudes to be. And so they're just pigeonholed into this area that's I don't know, it's well-meaning, but it's overly protective and weird. And so, as you were describing kind of the relationship dynamics and why it didn't work and how it kind of didn't have much to do with the fact that they were gay so much as that it was the dom sub, it's that kind of just twist that we don't see enough of that has me really interested in this movie.
It's a great movie.
Mhm.
Absolutely see it.
Yeah.
Next on the list. This is going to feel low for all the Nolan bros out there. And you know what? Come at me. I am not a big Nolan fan. I think I've been pretty open about that. I like Dunkirk.
Mhm.
I struggle with a lot of his movies. They're too mechanical. But let's talk about The Odyssey. It's on my must see.
This is a must see. This is actually my must see list is shorter than yours, but this is the next one on my must see.
Okay,
so
perfect.
I don't think you're horribly outranking or underranking it.
This was the movie.
This is my number
summer.
3.
I mean, this movie was selling out IMAX theaters last summer. This was the event.
I still don't think if I decided I wanted to see it on an IMAX screen this afternoon, I could get a ticket.
My son wanted to go see it again because he is a Nolan bro. And he was like, will you go with me? And I was like, if you can get it in IMAX, I'll go with you again. But I don't have a reason. I did not feel a need to go see it unless I got an IMAX ticket, which we saw it in DX. And it was great in DX. I know
That's how I saw it, like the Cinemark.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I like DX. It's a good experience. But
it is a good experience. I know it's not 70 millimeter IMAX, but, sponsor us. I'm a Cinemark movie club.
I'm a
member.
Cinemark yearly movie club member. I love Cinemark.
Program. They have the best popcorn of the major chains.
Their popcorn's so good, and they carry Coke products and not shitty Pepsi products. Looking at you,
they
Regal.
Do.
Fuck Pepsi.
Regal. We'll talk about this movie later, but when I saw Spider-Man, I had to see it at a Regal because I was out of town.
And I hate Regal. Compared to Cinemark, they're awful. They're more expensive.
Pepsi products, and
and their seats aren't as good.
I get a nice discount with my Cinemark Movie Club membership, but the concession prices shocked me.
Even if you have a membership at Regal, you don't get a discount on concessions.
Yeah,
it's
bullshit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So anyway,
I briefly did a membership at Regal this year and Cinemark to see as many movies as possible.
But yeah, Cinemark XD is the next best thing to IMAX. That's how I saw The Odyssey, and it was a good experience.
It was a great experience. Yeah. So The Odyssey, this movie, when he announced it, we talked about this. I was like,
we were worried.
Why not just make the Bible and be done with it? This is hubris.
Someone should.
Yeah, it's like Nolan has finally decided that he's just going to take on Greek mythology. Why the fuck not? I think after watching it, I realized I can't believe he didn't make it earlier. This movie covers all of the themes that he's completely obsessed with. Yeah. And his biggest thing, and this is what the movie suffers from, and all of his movies suffer from, is they're all just apology letters to his children that he chose his work over a softball game. And that is The Odyssey.
Kinda.
It is an apology letter to his family, in addition to a remake of Oppenheimer. What happens when we create warfare that breaks the world? It asks that question.
Yeah, it definitely plays.
But it asks.
It's that same theme, but it asks the question in very different context.
Yeah, it asks it 3,000 years ago instead of 50, 60 years ago instead of what happens when we
interesting enough, kind of just on its own, right? That we can ask that same question over the course of millennia.
I think it keeps the movie interesting in that it asks it in a different way, albeit the same question. I think that its reveal, for those of you that haven't seen it, I will avoid, but I think its reveal is dumb and fails the movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that scene.
It's unnecessary.
It's the one I'm thinking about. It was just kind of too long. It was a little, I think, fan service. He made it more of a this is going to be a blockbuster on IMAX screen, so let's give it something to put on the IMAX screen.
Oh, I don't think we're talking about the same scene. I'm going to say Athena.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about the,
I would have done
the
better.
bow and arrow scene.
No, I think that was great.
And the
that was
melee
fun.
afterward.
The melee's dumb. The bow and arrow scene's great. Not everything needs to be finished. Not everything needs to be finished in a fist fight. I know there is a fight in the original tale, and that's fine, but he makes plenty of other changes. No, I think the reveal that I'm talking about, it would have served the movie better had we known the entire time and he was wrestling with it, rather than have it be gotcha. It's not a prestige moment that had to happen, and it actually, I think, robbed a lot of the emotional. And this is, it's funny because this movie's very high on my list, right? But this is where I always complain about Nolan. He cannot touch me here. Everything is here. Everything is here.
I think this movie, of all the things I've seen that he's in, or that he's made, this one gets the closest for me, actually, to touching me here. But what's interesting is this is a big epic, and the times when it does that are when the movie feels small.
Yep.
And I just wish he allowed it to feel small more.
I agree. I will call out Anne Hathaway and John Bernthal. They made this movie for me.
They're so fucking good.
They
both are always kind of very good.
Anne Hathaway's been in so much
Anne Hathaway stan. We've talked about her a lot.
I
We don't
really
need to
wanted
do
to
it again.
wait to see the end of Oak Street before we did this episode because that is so high on
You
my
say
list.
this is her year?
This is her year. She's made so many good movies. I mean, she's all over this list, but
I adore her. John Barenthal is
he's going to show up on the list
this
again.
This is one of two John Barenthal, Tom Holland, Zendaya movies that we're going to be talking about.
It is. And this is actually something that why not just pause here? This is my concern right now in Hollywood. You mentioned that you'll see Robert Pattinson all year long, right?
Oh, he's in this too.
I am concerned that Hollywood is forgetting how to cast. You cannot put Zendaya, Pattinson, Chalamet, Holland in every movie all year. That is going to be a mistake. We're not going to bring up new talent. We're not going to see what we need to see, the diversity on screen. Like, they're great. I love them.
I know you're right, but I hear that and I was like, but could you please just put them in everything?
But they are in everything. And that's the problem is, like, I have 6 movies that I'm looking at with Anne Hathaway in front of me. I have 5 with Zendaya. Like, they're great. They're super talented. Let's not burn them out.
Are we discovering new talent?
Are we discovering new talent? And let's not burn them out. That does not seem like the right way to treat the young talent that we have. Let's come up with a long 10-year plan to make some movie stars. I love that. Yeah. This is the year of these performers, and it makes me nervous for the future. So having said that, I really like The Odyssey. It is probably my favorite since Dunkirk of Nolan's.
The other thing I want to say, Dunkirk's my favorite Nolan. I like most of his movies, but I don't just drool over them the way a lot of people seem to.
I respect most of his movies. I respect.
I think he's a very good artisan. What I will say about The Odyssey that I really liked is my concern going into The Odyssey is that it was unadaptable. It's just such an epic. It's also very like episodic. Like, how do you translate it? And the truth is, he was not shy about changing a lot of things while keeping the important stuff. He twisted the way the narrative unfolds, created a framing device that let the episodic nature play out. He sort of merged some things, eliminated others, changed others entirely. He let this be a movie and not just the screen version of the epic poem. And I think that was the best thing he did here.
I 100% agree with you there. Yeah. All of this back and forth about whether it's faithful or not faithful.
I actually think every change that I recognized felt like the right choice.
For me, the question always comes down to, is it a good film? Mm-hmm. All of that other conversation, why
in the bitching about adaptation always annoys me.
Well, because it doesn't matter.
Because people get mad at adaptation because an adaptation happened. Like, the word is adapt. You are adapting the story to a new medium. And adaptation is literally like change is inherent. And so, but I think it was, from that perspective, I actually think he did a very, very good job.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Spider-Man's my number 2. I know you have things in between.
I do have things in between because I've seen more.
Spider-Man is my number 2.
I was so prepared. I was so prepared to be disappointed.
Me too.
Holland had already done the unprecedented. He made 3 good Spider-Man movies. No one's done that. Not only that, I will actually go out and I'll say he made 3 good superhero movies, and I don't think anyone had done that, if I'm being honest. Like, the closest...
because I mean, you think of all the series, they've all had their weird ups and downs and fall apart. I think actually, funny enough, the Nolan Batman movies might be the closest to 3 good ones.
They are the closest to 3 good ones. I think the first one is actually...
But they're less consistent.
They are far less consistent. I think all 3 that they made were just really good. It seemed impossible that he, Zendaya, Jacob Batalon could possibly make a 4th. This felt like a Toy Story 4 moment. And yet... $1 billion later, here we are 1 week out, and $1 billion
the first weekend.
$1 billion, and damn if they didn't do it. What a great movie. What a great movie. I enjoyed this movie so much.
On the table. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. Always has been.
But that actually makes me more critical. That's not even a bias.
That
That's
made
a bias
me
against.
Worry, right?
Exactly.
Because I watched this and I was like, okay, like they, I think, wrote a check at the end of that last movie that I'm not sure they're going to be able to cash.
Yep.
And here we are. It is my second favorite movie of the year so far. Tom Holland is officially the best Peter Parker.
Yep. I think there's no question about it.
And I was an Andrew Garfield guy before.
That is such a weird place to be. We don't need to talk about that. Or you can talk about it on another episode.
But it was so you're going to hear people say there's a lot of fan service and yada, yada, yada. And yeah, all of that's true, whatever.
But it doesn't drive the narrative.
Lived so much in this emotional place for Peter Parker and where he has put himself because he is good. Like there's just such a goodness to Peter Parker. It's why Spider-Man's my favorite character, is that Peter feels so fully human despite having these superpowers, and just seems like a good person doing things for the right reasons, and paying the price. And this movie just, I don't know. It hit me hard. This is another movie where I laughed, I cried, I cheered. Like
this one did hit me where I live.
Wow.
And what I loved about this movie is that it kept it small. They kept, and they were clear about it. It was small potatoes.
Oh, small.
They kept it small.
Despite being big and having all these great set pieces, doing everything you want a Marvel movie to do. Yeah. But it felt so personal and intimate, and it doesn't have a villain.
And in the way that the new Avengers, Thunderbolts, whatever the title of the fucking movie is, tried to make a movie about depression, which I appreciate that it did. This movie makes a story about letting people in and potentially being neurodivergent and what it means when people only want one thing from you, and that's all you can give.
And grief and and depression. It's so human.
Yep.
Despite being about people who are superhuman.
Yep.
And
it's great.
Yeah, I loved it. I cannot wait to watch it again.
Same. I would go see it again right now. All right. Moving up the list. No Other Choice. This came out very early in the year, if you missed it. This is Park Chan-wook's follow-up to, oh my gosh, what was his last movie? I want to say The Handmaiden, but that's not right. Doesn't matter. This movie is about AI. It is about globalization. I have a lot of movies about AI on here. It was a big topic among directors, not shockingly. And it goes into corporate consolidation in an even darker way than Gore Verbinski could possibly imagine. Like, he puts together a satire in this movie that it's impossible to settle into. Tonally, it's all over the map, and yet somehow it works. It throws into question how our identities get wrapped up in our careers, our physical appearances, and so many movies we see all the time about the terrible things that people would go through to just get $1 million, to get $1 billion, to get followers. And this is what the terrible things that someone would go through to cling on to the middle rung of the middle class. And there is something so much darker and scarier about a world where that is happening and that it feels more real.
I was going to say, that seems so relatable, actually.
It is a superb movie. It is streaming on Hulu. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's my favorite Park Chan-wook film. I am not that big a fan of Old Boy, I've mentioned before. Yeah. This one is great. It really, really is good. I loved it. It stuck with me all year. I can't get enough of it. It is a must-see. And it is above Spider-Man. So definitely see it.
Wow.
Next, I Love Boosters. You've heard me talk about it.
I really want to see this. I need to make the time.
You've heard me talk about it. Boots Riley's imagination is on full display on this. We're dealing with corporatization. We're dealing with globalization. But it is also Kung Fu Hustle. But it's also the Blues Brothers. Keke Palmer is amazing in it. Like, it is a movie in which women both kick ass and are terrible, and you don't have to deal with all the girl boss bullshit that you get in a lot of movies like this. Like, the women in this movie are so fully realized, but also caricature cartoons of women. It is handmade. It is colorful. It is messy. It is beautiful. I want to see more Boots Riley. I want to see more Keke Palmer. It is, I can't say enough good things about this movie. It is a blast.
So unfortunately, you want to see more Boots Riley because Boots Riley keeps telling us you're not going to.
I know. He makes a movie and then he attacks Martin Scorsese and then he disappears for 7 years. But genuinely, this movie just, it is an absolute blast. His use of color and style and craft in his movies is just, it's otherworldly. He's making things that people just aren't making, and you have to love it. You have to.
Yeah, he does the sort of like magical realism thing really well too.
He does.
And I often appreciate that.
On the topic of magic, we're in our top 3 for me now. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
I am still, you've explained this to me like 3 times. I'm still so confused about what the fuck this movie even is.
I am going to do my very best to describe what this movie is, but I'm going to tell you right now,
that's not a criticism.
This movie,
funny.
This movie is dark magic. Okay, Matt Johnson is doing something in this movie that I do not. It is rare. I mean, we just talked about the Odyssey. How many years and how many enormous sets did Nolan build to do this whole thing on IMAX and all of it?
5 continents, $300 million.
And I watched Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, and it has my jaw on the fucking floor. Every scene, I'm like, how the fuck did they do that? This movie is shot on the streets of Toronto. It is these two improv artists, Jay McCarroll and Matt Johnson. The entire premise of Nirvana, the band, the show, is that these two guys are in a band. Jay's on the piano. Matt is the front man, but I don't really know what he does. He doesn't really do much other than come up with plots. And their goal in life is to play a show at the Rivoli, which, by the way, is just kind of a small bar in Toronto.
So it's not even like, we're not talking MSG.
No. They want to play a show at the Rivoli. And every single episode of the show prior to them making the movie, and when it was a YouTube before it was a show, which, by the way, the show is on Hulu now. Watch it. It's phenomenal. The movie's on Hulu as well. Is them coming up with this incredibly complex, circuitous plan to book a show at the Rivoli, which doesn't involve calling the Rivoli and booking a show, by the way, ever.
Well, why would you do that?
And then it going horribly awry. But then there are all of these various tropes that they use throughout that generally connect them either back to a really big movie like Jurassic Park or Back to the Future, which also, like when I say there's dark magic, like what they're doing on screen is impossible to believe, and I'll get into it in a moment. But the copyright protections that they get around, I don't know how they do that either, because they're playing music from Jurassic Park. They're showing scenes from Back to the Future. They show stuff from Nintendo games. Nintendo is famously
notoriously litigious.
And yet somehow they get away with all of this. But the premise of the movie is exactly what you expect. They're trying to book a show at the Rivoli. Their plan to do it is to travel back in time and have already booked a show at the Rivoli. And they go back into 2008 Toronto and interact with I'm not fucking, like, this is not like, they set up a set. They're walking around on the streets with people because they've been shooting the show on YouTube for like 15 years. And they're interacting with these people, interacting with themselves from the original show, making changes that occur in the future, doing all of this on the streets with handheld cameras. Nothing's locked down. The movie is hilarious. It is awe-inspiring. It is wonderfully imaginative. It's got a heart that you kind of can't believe in something so silly. It will shock you. It is a miracle and criminally underseen. I regret not seeing this one in theaters. Watch this movie. Tell your friends to watch the movie. Invite your friends over to watch this movie. It is amazing. It's a comedic masterpiece. And I will tell you, these guys have a fan for life in me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, as you describe it, I'm just trying to figure out, like, I'll need to see it to know exactly what you mean. But yeah, how did they make it? Are they doing like, what was that Steve Martin movie from way back in the day where it was like, they were superimposing
Dead Men
things
don't wear plaid.
Is it that kind of thing that they're doing here with their old footage from the YouTube show?
To this level.
Okay.
Because they're not just doing that. Remember, they're doing it this isn't on sets.
Right.
This is in Toronto. Like, there is a giant tower. I forget what it's called, but it's right next to the baseball stadium. The pointy one. They zip line off of that fucking thing. I don't know how, but you see them go up the tower and you see them zip line down because, remember, Back to the Future, what do you got to do? You got to get the lightning and you got to connect it to the cable. And so they have to do that scene that Doc Brown does. And Matt Johnson fucking zip lines. They parachute off of it once before they zip line.
Well, of course.
They blow shit up in the streets, like around people. That, like, these aren't CG effects. Like, there are fiery explosions. There's gunfire. There's...
Yeah, I need to see this. It's just if for no other reason than to satisfy the curiosity of what the fuck we're even talking about.
It's madness. It's absolute madness. It's incredible. All right. Next up, we're in our top 2. I assume this is going to be way up there for you. I'm at Project Hail Mary.
This is my number 1.
This is our March movie we were talking about. This movie is a masterpiece. Yep. I think it will get lots of nominations. It'd be crazy if it didn't. It has heart. It is a story about saving the world that somehow is the smallest, most intimate story you could possibly tell. We mentioned how much we love Spider-Man for telling a small story.
I rewatched this movie over the last 2 nights.
It's so good.
And it worked just as well. Like, I don't know how it like got me emotionally a second time. Um, it Yeah, it feels so small
Yep.
despite what it's actually about. It made me cry over a rock. Uh, it
It
there's
is a near, we're speaking of adaptation again. It is a near perfect adaptation. This book, I read it before the movie
yeah,
came out. I think that it does exactly what you want to do with that book to bring this to life on the screen. It did things I didn't expect it to, but Lord and Miller killed it. They just
yeah,
absolutely made a masterpiece that I think people will watch and rewatch for decades.
yeah. It's just, and this is another one, much like Sheep Detectives. This is not on its face a children's movie.
Well, I think Cheap Detectives is on its face a children's
Sheep
movie.
Detective, yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose it
I
is.
think on its face, Cheap, I mean, it's about a bunch
Yeah,
of talking sheep.
it's better. Yeah, I know. It just didn't feel
Yeah.
like it when I watched it, even though it was.
Well, because it's about a
This
murder,
one,
but yeah,
yeah,
this
this one
one,
doesn't
mm-mm.
seem like it. It seems like it's just like a big sci-fi like movie.
But it's a great
But
family movie.
there's nothing objectionable
Well,
for
it's not,
families.
it's not even just that there's nothing objectionable. There are things that you
But there's
want your
things that you
family.
want your kids to take. Right. Yeah. Like the lessons from it. I think like something that I haven't heard too many people talk about, but that I think is just something really special that just like emotionally like hits me is Sandra Hüller's character, the sort of director of the project, and the responsibility and the burden that she carries and the decisions she has to make as a result. Like it is so subtly complex, and just like really, I don't know, not a lot of movies can have that character and not make you feel like she's the villain at the end, and she's absolutely not. She's, if anything, one of the heroes, and I
Well,
think that
I,
that balancing act just is one of the things that makes the movie great.
what I love is that this movie throws into question what heroism is.
Yes.
That is the biggest thing that this movie does beautifully is we're so used to seeing heroes with big muscles pick up a
Mm-hmm.
big gun and do this, or small heroes who are scared but overcome their fear and find a way to find the hero inside. And this movie, I think, tells a much more human tale about what heroism truly is in the face of a world ending threat and how complicated it is to approach a threat like that as a small, singular person that
Mm-hmm.
might have the ability to do something about it.
Yeah, and
It's beautiful.
it really is, and it kind of does in a weird way. It hits me in the same way like It's a Wonderful Life hits me, right? In that
I can
it
see that.
takes these people who they're not ordinary per se. I suppose Grace, Ryan Gosling's character, kind of is, despite being like very
I was like, he's
intelligent.
a PhD
Yeah.
in like biochemistry or
Um,
something, but
but the heroes are not, like you said, the big, muscly, like super powered people. They are real people living in a real world, just trying to be and not always succeeding and being imperfectly the best version of themselves that they can be, and not knowing or feeling like it's going to be enough. And then they are. And I think it's remarkable in that way.
yeah. I think that it is the most optimistic tale about the human spirit that we have on film this year. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It also like really lacks cynicism in a way that I think I just need every so often.
I loved it. I did.
Yeah.
All right, we're at my number one. This is my other hot take of the year.
Yeah.
It is a sequel of a sequel of a sequel, something I would never expect to find at the top of my list. I'm telling you right now, I am slowly falling in love with Nia DaCosta. She made one of my favorite movies last year, Hedda, and she made my favorite movie this year, 28 years later, The Bone Temple. I will tell you, I'm going to rage for the remainder of this year and maybe beyond about this movie failing at the theaters, and I'm going to lay the blame at the marketing department at Sony and at Danny Boyle's feet. And here's why. A, they dropped the movie too soon and they gave it the wrong title. It confused audiences. They thought they'd already seen 28 years later. They thought that maybe this was a re-release and it didn't need to be seen. They thought that this is a Wii U problem. If you get that reference, wonderful. People thought the Wii U was an upgraded Wii and they didn't need to buy it and they didn't understand it was a new console. People did not understand that this was a new movie and it came out too soon afterwards. And I think Danny Boyle did something foolish with 28 Years Later, even though I liked it. He delivered something that was strangely paced and not what people expected in a way that people didn't necessarily want to see it. And it left, I think, a lot of audiences with a bit of a sour taste in their mouth. So they didn't want more. And so this just felt like, for those who knew it was more, they didn't want more of the same of whatever that was. And for those who didn't know it wasn't just a re-release of the same movie, they just didn't go see it. All zombie movies always end up not being really about the zombies. They end up being about the monsters that humans are. This movie, The Bone Temple, finds a way to take make the zombies, and actually one of the zombies, into a main character, and yet still explore society at the very edge of its sanity, at the very end of what happens when everything around it collapses and it's past beyond the brink. You have, instead of zombies ripping humans apart, you have humans ripping humans apart, and zombies dancing with Ray Fine in the field. It is bizarre. It is wonderful. It is bloody. Ray Fine gives a performance of a fucking lifetime in it. It is broken up by a heavy metal music video that is the most amazingly directed music video I've ever seen. This movie is stuck in my brain in a way that I cannot describe, and it is my absolute favorite movie of the year. It wasn't even hard to put at the top of my list. This is a superb movie that will be underrated and underseen, and I will scream from the mountaintops about it as much as I possibly can. I love this movie.
You make a very, very compelling case. Funny enough, I don't have a counterpoint. I started this movie, didn't finish it. I think the bizarreness maybe threw me, and like I didn't get locked in the way that perhaps the movie deserved. I absolutely intend to sort of restart it.
You watch it at home, right?
Yeah.
This was a theatrical experience movie.
Yeah.
It just was. You had to be locked in and be forced to get through the beginning of what you didn't expect.
I was totally locked in. I think it is very bizarre, and I think it just threw me. And so like it's a me problem, not a movie problem, I'm sure. But I agree with you that the marketing was just a blunder, because really it felt like they marketed 28 Years Later, sold 28 Years Later, and then kind of forgot that there was a second movie, and then it just like dropped, and people didn't even realize that it was its own thing, like you said.
Yeah.
Because it was longer ago, and I can remember the marketing campaign for 28 Years Later, but not the one for The Bone Temple.
It's it is supremely disappointing. This is two movies by Nia DaCosta back to back that nobody fucking saw, that are both two of the best movies of their year.
I mean, Head is less surprising that nobody saw, just because it's a type of movie. Yeah, this movie should have had an audience, really.
It should have, and I've been feeling myself turning on Danny Boyle over the last couple of years. I saw Sunshine recently after everybody was like, "Oh, if you like Project Hail Mary, see Sunshine." That is false. Those two movies have literally nothing in common, and I did not like Sunshine.
I mean, they have one thing in common.
Yeah, it's in space, and they're going to the sun to save the sun. But
the sun's dying.
If you think that is a similarity between these two movies, then you do not know how to engage with narrative art form. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not saying that you can't like both movies, but I'm saying that like, maybe don't make recommendations if you think those movies are connected, because they ain't.
Yeah, they just have a sort of plot similarity, sort of, but like tonally what they're saying,
thematically they're
completely different.
Yeah, thematically they're on opposite sides of the universe. Tonally they're on opposite sides of the universe. I don't know how they're similar movies other than they take place in space. But I think The Bone Temple is an infinitely better movie than 28 Years Later. I think that Nia DaCosta, I really, really hope she gets another chance to make something wonderful like this, because she's had a couple movies in a row now not do well. And I really think she is just an amazing directorial voice, and I cannot wait to see when people finally find her. I thought this was going to be when people did, and they didn't, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah, it really had the potential to do so. So it's a bummer that it didn't.
So, what am I missing on our must-see list, Michael? That is it. Those are all the movies I've seen this year.
That is the list.
That's the list. All right.
And I think when you look at the must-sees, the ones that we had in common. Those alone, that like handful of movies, really make 2026 feel like it's going to be one of the years we talk about, right? There are a few years people talk about in movies as like really great years. 2007 comes to mind as like just an exceptional movie year.
That's a big one. I actually think last year was a pretty fucking awesome year. I mean, we had Sinners and One Battle clashing in a way that was just unprecedented for like just great movies.
Yeah. But this one, I don't know. I think there are enough like big titles and there's things coming up that seem like they're going to be really interesting, that by the end of the year, when it all shakes out and you're looking at people's like top 10 lists, they're going to be sort of weird top 10 lists. And I mean that in like a really good way. They're going to feel like they're very all over the place. And, you know, we hinted at this in the beginning. I love how many big crowd-pleasing blockbusters that are also really great movies that work on multiple levels we already have this year.
Yeah.
This is, again, I said it, we argue where I say like, oh, fun movies never get like the accolades. Everything's like these boring, prestige-y things. And I like enough of the boring, prestige-y stuff. I really do. But this year just feels like the proving ground that like that is not correct. Like where we are at is we are taking blockbuster popcorn movies, if you want to call them that, and just elevating them into like true works of art in a way that I feel lucky to have, you know, a handful of them already.
I think, I mean, I agree. I agree with all of that, but I think out there, what I'll say to those of you out there who watch this pod, I know we're not a big pod, but like presumably you like movies. If you do, if you like movies, see them all. Like support movies. Stop being so concerned with the marketing around the movie. Stop watching the previews. If you are interested by the story, I say engage it. There's some great ones coming up. I cannot wait for Wild Horse 9. I can't wait for End of Oak Street. We've got
forward to End of Oak Street. I'm looking forward to what's it called? It's that. It looks like a really bizarre, again, like family movie. It's got like Andrew Garfield in it.
He's got a really dark movie coming up soon that's like vaguely Robin Hood meets Braveheart.
Yeah, I saw that. Has me sort of interested. I'm not sure if it will be very good or very bad. Yeah, it's called The Magic Faraway Tree. And
I haven't seen that.
It seems really just fantastical and weird. And I'm not even sure what to expect. But again, it seems different and fun. And I'm looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to, I forget the full title, but it's Camp Miasma. It's got Hannah Einbinder. It's getting great reviews. It comes out next weekend. I'm super, super looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see where the year leads. And even if it leads nowhere, what we have so far is a really solid year of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this was fun. I can't believe it is already August.
Mm-hmm.
And we are now headed into what is considered kind of the prime season. And I just don't know how it's going to be able to compete with the first 7 months.
I assume it will compete well. I mean, we're seeing some good movies, and so I'm looking forward to it. There's, like I said, there's already some good stuff coming out. There's some stuff coming out next weekend that I can't actually wait to see. And there's still a couple more I got to catch up on. As much as I know Disclosure Day is not super beloved, I want to still check that out. I still want to see I still want to see Supergirl. I wanted to try to catch Supergirl in time. I didn't get a chance to see it before this, but I'm also a little superheroed out. And Spider-Man scratched my itch for the year, I think.
I mean,
I'm a little grumpy about having to see Doomsday because I know I'm going to have to see it. It's coming out
Doomsday
on my birthday. So I will see Dune on my birthday, just to be clear, because that is my birthday and that is what I'm going to do for me. But then I will see Doomsday.
Yeah, I'll see Doomsday. I just
don't care.
I got Spider-Man. I don't know why I need Doomsday, because how's it going to be better? It won't be.
It won't be. Well, it's been good. It's nice to catch up. We're going to come back from our hiatus now. So next week we will do our James Bond episode, as we promised a couple weeks ago. Thank you to all of you who watched our Batman episodes. We've gotten some more views. It's been nice. Hopefully you are all enjoying it. that Batman Forever Superman episode was a wild one for two non-superhero movie guys to watch two non-superhero superhero
really
movies.
Amazing super. Yeah.
And we're not really James Bond guys either, but I'm excited to go into James Bond. It's going to be a slightly different episode like this one, though. We're going to format differently because you'll see. It's obvious what's going to happen.
It will become very clear why we are not going to subject those two movies to the essential cut method.
Yeah, it won't. It will be unnecessary and very clear. If you've seen Live and Let Die and Dr. No, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't, you have something to look forward to.
It'll be a fun chat. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, take us out, dude.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us for a different special episode. I had a good time reminiscing about the movies that we've seen so far this year. Give us a like, a subscribe, a follow on our YouTube channel.
Tell us why you like Backrooms. Tell us why you like Backrooms.
Please. That is actually your assignment.
Please.
When you are liking and subscribing and commenting, make those comments about why you like Backrooms.
I want to know. Did I watch it wrong?
I am so willing to be wrong on this.
I am too.
I really
want to be wrong. I want to watch it and be transported the way.
I want to love movies.
Hideo Kojima says this is the best movie of the year. And I know Hideo Kojima is an insane human being, a visionary nutcase. I respect him, but he's nuts. He got something out of this that I didn't. And he's older than I am. And I was offended by the way they represented the 90s. So I don't know. Tell me why you like it.
I really want to know. And then, join us for our Bond episode. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, Letterboxd. I am at shit.
You're at Michael_upleft. I am Ian_upleft. I'm also at Letterboxd and Instagram and Threads, and you should follow and like and subscribe.
A couple weeks off, I just forget everything I'm doing.
I know. It is tough. Like we said, I mean, last thing you want to do is, break the fourth wall. We talk directly to camera, but to talk about the work. But goddamn, this is a lot of work.
I know, but excited to get back to it. And this was a fun way to kick that off.
All right. Until next time, everybody. Bye for now. The Essential Cut is an Uplift Media production. Written, researched, and hosted by Ian Tarter and Michael Smith. Produced, sound engineered, and edited by Ian Tarter. With special thanks to Rosie Page.